Something happens in places where modern life stops being a reference point. Between low-lying fog and sounds we don't know how to name. There are people who wake up every morning without taking anything for granted. Seen from the outside, it seems impossible. Territories where silence does not mean calm, but serves as a warning. Where every step can disturb an ancient balance, and where creatures that have spent millions of years perfecting the art of hunting still set the rules. But people live there. People who learn to read the environment before trying to dominate it. Communities that, when they sense danger, don't activate alarms or seek artificial shelter. Because in these places, technology does not protect you, and a single mistake cannot be corrected. You pay for it. Welcome to Planet Tribes, where stories are not told, they are discovered. What you are about to see today are not ruins or legends. They are 5 tribes of the present. Some may already feel familiar. Others remain almost invisible. But all of them live in places where survival means accepting a level of risk that most of us wouldn't endure for even a single day. If you want to step into jungles, savannas, and extreme territories where every action matters, stay with us, because what comes next will surprise you. Tribe 1. Hadzabe. In northern Tanzania, south of Lake Eyasi, the Hadzabe live across 1,000 square kilometers of savanna where daytime temperatures exceed 40 degrees Celsius. No fences, no permanent shelters, only branch camps that are abandoned within hours when predators get too close. They hunt with bows and arrows coated in a plant-based poison extracted from adenium, a cardiotoxic plant that does not kill instantly, but weakens the prey's body until it collapses. Then they follow the wounded animal for kilometers, an animal that can still fight back. They wear tanned animal skins because they make no sound when moving through bushes where hungry creatures lie in wait. But finding food is not their true challenge. The challenge is not becoming food. Imagine this. The sun sinks behind the acacia trees. The temperature drops sharply. You light fires, forming a defensive circle. You lie down on antelope hide with your 4-year-old child pressed against your chest. Your eyes close. Then you hear it. A deep, low roar that vibrates inside your rib cage. It comes from 40 meters away. Then another. Closer. 30 meters. Your hands tremble as you feed the fire. The roar draws nearer. 20 meters. You can already smell the lion, musk mixed with the blood of its last kill. The Hadzabe identify every individual lion in their territory by its roar. They know which are territorial, which are nomadic, which have tasted human flesh. A lion that has killed a human never forgets that we are easy prey. It will actively seek us out. Every night they repeat the ritual. Multiple fires are lit. They sleep in shifts. They keep watch. If the flames weaken, the lions move closer. A child who steps 15 meters beyond the circle of light may never return. Lions hunt in absolute silence. No warning growl. The Hadzabe find traces of blood every 2 or 3 years. Never a complete body. Lions drag their victims kilometers into the savanna. But there is something worse than a predator that hunts from the ground. One that hunts from above. Leopards are stealthier, more patient, more calculating. A Hadzabe man collects honey from a baobab tree. He climbs slowly, reaches toward the hive. He feels the impact before he sees it. The strike is instantaneous. Claws and fangs reach the head. Death comes before a scream is possible. They avoid certain baobab trees after witnessing these cats launch themselves from the branches onto unsuspecting prey. Those trees are marked in their memory. But the savanna is full of them. They cannot avoid them all, and danger constantly shifts territory. And just when you think you've seen the worst, the savanna proves that danger doesn't always stalk in silence. Cape buffalo kill more hadzabe than lions and leopards combined. They can weigh over 800 kilos, reach 50 kilometers per hour, and charge without warning. A solitary male may attack with no apparent provocation. When it happens, there is no margin for escape. You have 2 seconds to climb or die. If there is no tree nearby, the buffalo hits you. Many young hunters die on their first buffalo hunt. The protocol is to track the wounded animal until blood loss weakens it. But a wounded buffalo becomes enraged. It turns on its pursuers. It charges. Inexperienced youths don't run fast enough. And then there is water. Hippos control the water holes. Extremely territorial. If you approach to drink and a hippo is resting nearby, you must wait for hours or die. Their tusks measure 50 centimeters. A direct hit is almost always fatal. Hippos cause more human deaths in Africa than any other large mammal. Humans need water. Hippos defend it. The conflict is inevitable. The hadzabe drink from secondary water holes, farther away, with dirtier water. More parasites, more bacteria. But it is preferable to facing a hippo that can run at 30 kilometers per hour. We continue our journey and encounter the black mamba. It moves at 20 kilometers per hour. Its neurotoxic venom destroys the nervous system in 7 hours without antivenom. The hadzabe have no antivenom. If it bites you, you sit beneath a tree and wait. The mamba does not flee like other snakes. If you block its path, it attacks. It bites repeatedly. Each bite injects more venom. Symptoms begin within minutes: blurred vision, difficulty breathing, progressive paralysis. Your diaphragm shuts down. You stop breathing. Your body stops responding while you remain conscious. The hadzabe describe it as dying awake. Could you raise your child knowing that every trip for water might be the last? For the hadzabe, this is normal life. The savanna is brutal, but at least it warns you. Here, survival is not bravery. It is knowledge passed from parents to children. Now we move to a place where danger cannot be seen. There, the ground itself can end your life in a matter of minutes. The only way to survive is to live suspended in the air. 40 meters above the ground. Tribe 2, Korowai. In the lowlands of southeastern Papua New Guinea, the Korowai inhabit 4,000 square kilometers of permanently flooded swamp forest, where the ground ceases to be solid and the water never recedes. The terrain remains covered by 10 to 50 centimeters of water. It rains nearly 300 days a year. Humidity exceeds 90%. Walking means sinking into thick, black mud that smells of decomposing organic matter. They live in tree houses between 6 and 40 meters above the ground. This is not a picturesque tradition. It is absolute survival. Because below them lurk the deadliest creatures in Papua. Imagine waking up in your treehouse. You climb down a ladder carved with notches in the trunk. Your feet touch murky water. You walk toward the stream to fish. The water reaches your knees. Something brushes against your leg. You think it's a floating log. It isn't. The crocodile erupts in half a second. Jaws clamp onto your thigh with enough force to crush bone. The impact is brutal. You are dragged underwater. You either drown or bleed to death. Everything happens in less than 30 seconds. Did you know that saltwater crocodiles can reach 7 meters in length and weigh over 1,000 kilos? They hunt by ambush beneath the water for hours. Only their eyes and nostrils remain visible. They look like logs. When prey comes close, they explode with a speed that cannot be avoided. The crocodile lose between 3 and 5 people every year. Children playing on the banks, women washing sago, men fishing. Crocodiles learn human routes, position themselves at the same pools, and wait. They never drink from the same place 2 days in a row. They always send a lookout first. They always strike the water with long sticks before entering. But vigilance fails. A child gets distracted. An adult is desperately thirsty. The crocodile attacks. The body disappears. The crocodile cannot kill large crocodiles. A 7-meter crocodile is invulnerable to Stone Age weapons. Wooden spears bounce off the dorsal scales. Arrows fail to penetrate deeply enough. That is why they live high above the ground. Crocodiles cannot climb. The reticulated python exceeds 7 meters in length and weighs around 75 kilos. It is not venomous. It constricts. It wraps its body around the prey and tightens with every breath until the body stops responding. The crocodile have found pythons with entire wild pigs inside them. They know that a python large enough can kill a human. And pythons can climb trees. Every night, before sleeping, they inspect the beams of their tree houses, searching for the unmistakable outline of a coiled python. If they find one, everyone evacuates. They climb down in complete darkness. They spend the night in another house if a neighbor has space. If not, they sleep on the ground, surrounded by crocodiles. A sleeping python on a beam can fall onto a child. The child screams. Adults rush in with torches and bamboo knives. They try to cut the snake, but a coiled python tightens its grip when attacked. They do not always arrive in time. Then there are the spiders. The Papuan tarantula has a body the size of a fist. Its bite causes extreme pain for 3 days. Funnel web spiders are smaller but deadly. Their neurotoxic venom kills children within hours. They build tunnels in tree crevices. The crocodile strike tree trunks before climbing. But it does not always work. A child climbs. He puts his hand into a hollow for support. The spider bites. And finally, there are the mosquitoes. The forests of Papua have one of the highest mosquito densities on the planet. They transmit malaria. A crocodile who contracts cerebral malaria dies within a week. Fever above 40 degrees Celsius. Convulsions. Coma. They have no quinine and no anti-malarial drugs. Their only defense is living above the mosquito flight layer. Mosquitoes rarely fly higher than 10 meters. Crocodile houses are built at 15 meters or more. That is why the ground is not a home, but a constant threat. But they must come down. For water, for sago, for hunting. Every descent means exposure. Mosquitoes attack in swarms. Within minutes, a crocodile can be covered in bites. Not all of them transmit malaria. Only one is enough. A crocodile child who contracts malaria has a 30% chance of dying. Adults survive more often because they have endured multiple previous infections. But each infection weakens the body. Would you live on a wooden platform 40 meters above the ground, knowing that a python might be sleeping above your head? Would you descend every day into water, where a 7-meter crocodile waits motionless? For the crocodile, this is not a question. This is life. And they live it every single day. Living 40 meters above the ground protects you from what lurks below. But what if you cannot build shelters? What if you cannot stay in one place for more than 3 days because predators learn where you sleep? What if your only strategy is constant movement, without a home, without walls, always fleeing? But this is not the limit of human survival. There are peoples who walk until they die, who carry babies while fleeing, who know that stopping means becoming prey. Tribe 3. Awa Guaja. In the state of Maranhão, Brazil, the Awa Guaja live in scattered forest areas totaling about 250 square kilometers of Amazon rainforest. They are extreme nomads. They do not build villages. They do not remain in one place for more than 3 to 5 days, not by choice, by necessity. Because predators learn where they sleep. They hunt monkeys, peccaries, and birds with bows and arrows. They gather fruit and honey. But obtaining food is not their real challenge. It is not being eaten while searching for it. The eastern Amazon rainforest has the highest density of jaguars on the continent, 8 individuals per 100 square kilometers. Perfect nocturnal hunters. They do not roar before attacking. They stalk in absolute silence. Picture yourself walking through the forest, carrying your 2-year-old child in your arms. The sun begins to set. You hear birds singing. Suddenly, silence. The birds stop singing. That means something large is nearby. You turn your head. Nothing. You keep walking. You feel something watching you. The hair on the back of your neck stands up. You walk faster. You hear leaves crunch 20 meters away. You stop. Silence. You walk again. Another crunch, closer. The jaguar moves at your pace. It is following you. It is assessing. The Awa fear jaguars more than any other creature. They constantly identify their signs: 15-centimeter paw prints, claw marks on tree bark 2 meters above the ground, a musky scent along trails. When they detect nearby presence, they abandon the camp immediately. Suspicion alone is enough. A jaguar that has scented humans can stalk for days. It identifies the most vulnerable individual, a child who lags behind, a slow elder, a pregnant woman. Then it attacks, from behind. When it strikes, the victim dies in seconds. There is no struggle. The jaguar vanishes into the undergrowth with the victim. When the Awa return, only crushed leaves and fresh blood remain. The Awa have lost children, elders, sleeping adults. Jaguars can silently enter night camps. If the fires die down, if everyone is deeply asleep, a jaguar can bite a child and disappear before anyone wakes. That is why they keep fires burning all night. They sleep in shifts. Someone is always watching. But accumulated exhaustion causes vigilance to fail, and the jaguar waits for exactly that moment. Green anacondas reach 6 meters in length and weigh up to 150 kilos. They are not venomous. They constrict. The Awa must cross rivers constantly. There are no bridges, no canoes. They must wade. And anacondas hunt in murky water, completely submerged, without visible ripples. You enter the river. The water reaches your waist. You take 3 steps. Something brushes against your leg underwater. You think it's a large fish. It isn't. The anaconda bites your leg with backward curved teeth that prevent escape. Then it coils its body around your torso. It tightens. The anaconda does not crush bones. It tightens every time you exhale. Gradually, your lungs can no longer expand. Your heart receives less oxygen. You lose consciousness in 3 minutes. The Awa strike the water with sticks before entering. They never cross alone. If someone screams, others rush in with bamboo knives, trying to cut the anaconda's head. But panic causes the blows to miss. The snake is covered in water and blood, slippery, moving violently. Some rescues succeed, others do not. Some Awa prefer to walk 5 extra kilometers rather than cross a suspicious river. 5 additional kilometers through dense forest with small children in the rain, hungry. But it is better than facing an anaconda. And then there are the bullet ants, which inject Panera toxin, causing one of the most intense pains ever documented in humans. The name comes from indigenous testimonies comparing the pain to being shot. A person stung by multiple ants can go into shock. The pain lasts a full 24 hours without relief. During those 24 hours, the victim cannot walk, cannot hunt, cannot carry children. If the group is fleeing from a threat, the victim becomes a burden. The Awa recognize bullet ant nests, mounds at the base of trees, columns of 2-centimeter ants with visible mandibles. They avoid them. But in the rush of nomadic life, sometimes you place your hand in the wrong spot. The ants climb up your arm in seconds. Multiple stings. The pain is so intense that some describe losing consciousness. Could you live in a place where walking, crossing a river, or sleeping on the ground can kill you without warning? They have no alternative. Not everyone can keep watching when survival stops being an idea and becomes a daily burden. If you are still here, it's because these stories matter. What comes next is not more comfortable, it is deeper. Fleeing visible predators is brutal. But what if the real danger does not roar, cannot be seen, and does not bite with fangs? There is a place where every form of life can kill you, where biodiversity is not beauty, but a lethal chemical landscape, and where humans have learned to use that poison to survive. Tribe 4, Yanomami. As this journey continues on the border between Brazil and Venezuela, the Yanomami live surrounded by a continuous, dense, and suffocating tropical rainforest, where every movement requires real physical effort. One of the most biodiverse regions on the planet, and the highest density of venomous species in South America. The Yanomami hunt with arrows poisoned with curare, extracted from lianas that block neuromuscular transmission. Progressive paralysis. A wounded monkey dies in 5 minutes, a peccary in 15. In a human, paralysis can cause death in less than an hour. Death occurs by asphyxiation. The diaphragm becomes paralyzed. You cannot breathe, yet you remain conscious until the end. But the danger is not the poison they use. It is the poison that surrounds them. The Yanomami call jaguars spirit hunters and respect them as powerful beings. Shamans believe they can transform into jaguars during trances, but real jaguars kill. They attack children who stray from communal houses. They attack women who go alone to the gardens. The Amazonian jaguar stalks from the undergrowth, leaps onto the back, bites the neck. Cervical vertebrae, fracture, instant death. Every year, individuals disappear. The community knows what happened. Jaguars dominate vast territories. A single communal house may have 3 resident jaguars within its area. The Yanomami learn to identify them by roars, tracks, and hunting patterns. Green anacondas, great water snakes, can overturn small canoes, coil around a human, and drag them underwater. Yanomami children learn the rules early. Never swim alone, never swim at dusk, never cross deep rivers without a canoe. The Yanomami forest holds the greatest diversity of venomous snakes in South America. The fer de lance is the most lethal. Its hemotoxic venom destroys tissue, causes massive internal bleeding, and rapid necrosis. Without antivenom, mortality reaches 70%. They have developed traditional treatments: immediate suction, tourniquets, cauterization with embers, plant infusions. Sometimes it works, often it doesn't. Shamans perform rituals to spiritually extract the venom, But even they know that without physical intervention, the victim will die. And then there are the poison dart frogs, small, bright, and among the most lethal creatures in the jungle. A single frog contains enough toxin to kill several adult humans. Batrachotoxin interferes with sodium channels, causing fatal cardiac arrhythmia. Yanomami children learn, bright colors mean death. Bright yellow, red, metallic blue. If a dart frog enters the communal house, everyone evacuates. They wait for it to leave. It is not touched. It is not killed by striking it. If crushed, the toxin can splash and enter open wounds. There are accounts of children who died after handling poison dart frogs out of curiosity. The toxin acts within minutes. Arrhythmia, cardiac arrest, no reversal. Would you touch a brightly colored frog knowing its skin contains enough toxin to kill 10 people? The truth is that they now face a threat worse than any animal: mercury in the water. Illegal miners use mercury to extract gold. Mercury contaminates rivers. The Yanomami eat contaminated fish. Mercury causes irreversible neurological damage in children. In affected areas, many Yanomami children show worrying levels of mercury in their bodies. An entire generation is being poisoned. So far, we have seen jungles where danger can be identified. Jaguars that roar, snakes that hiss, frogs that shine as a warning. But there is a place where danger exists both on land and at sea, where escape is impossible because you are surrounded by water, and where every attempt to approach has ended in death. No one truly knows how they survive, because no human being has been able to approach without being killed. Are you ready to discover the danger faced by the final tribe of this journey? Tribe 5. The Sentinelese. The Bay of Bengal opens before us. More than 300 kilometers off the coast of India, a small island surrounded by coral reefs rises from the sea, North Sentinel Island. 59 square kilometers inhabited by one of the last peoples on Earth living in complete isolation, the Sentinelese. They do not accept contact, they never have. And they do not issue warnings with words. In 1974, a film crew received permission to approach the island with the intention of documenting this community. The attempt lasted seconds. Figures armed with bows emerged from the jungle. An arrow struck the director. The filming ended there. The message was unmistakable. They did not want to be observed, studied, or contacted. Decades later, in 2006, 2 Indian fishermen illegally ran aground near the reef. They believed they had found refuge. They never returned. Their bodies were seen from a distance, dragged into the jungle. No recovery was possible. In 2018, American missionary John Allen Chow ignored all legal and health prohibitions. He knew contact was forbidden. He knew he could endanger a community with no immune defenses against external diseases. Even so, he landed repeatedly, left objects on the beach, and approached closer each time. On his final attempt, he was killed by arrows. His body was never recovered. These episodes are not isolated acts. They are a survival strategy. The Sentinelese population is estimated to range between 50 and 500 people. They live by fishing, shellfish gathering, and hunting. There is no evidence of agriculture or regular contact with the outside world. And yet, they survive surrounded by one of the most dangerous marine environments on the planet. Saltwater crocodiles reach 7 meters in length and weigh more than 1,500 kilograms. They hunt in brackish waters, remaining motionless for hours, hidden among mangroves. The Sentinelese enter the water every day. Each incursion is a real possibility of never returning. Added to this are sea snakes, carriers of some of the most powerful neurotoxic venoms in the ocean. A single bite can paralyze the respiratory system in less than 30 minutes. Without antivenom, the outcome is conscious suffocation. Around the reef, danger gives no warning. In these shallow waters, tiger sharks, bull sharks, and blacktip sharks patrol, and danger does not announce itself. One attack is enough. The sentinelese enter the sea naked or semi-naked. They have no protection, they never have, and not everything lethal has teeth. Box jellyfish float almost invisibly in the murky water. Their toxins can cause extreme pain, paralysis, and cardiac arrest within minutes. Here, contact is not a decision, it is chance. On land, the risk continues. Scorpions, spiders, centipedes, huts made of branches and leaves are no barrier. Every night is constant exposure. In 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami struck the Andaman Islands. It was believed that the sentinelese had disappeared. Days later, a helicopter flew over the island. From the beach, a man raised his bow and fired arrows into the sky. They had survived. The sentinelese have endured for some 60,000 years without external help. They reject the modern world not out of hostility, but out of memory. Every previous contact brought death, disease, or loss. And now they face a threat against which they cannot draw a bow. North Sentinel is a low coral island. If sea levels rise, much of it will be submerged. They have nowhere to go. They have no boats to migrate. Is isolation, or is it the last form of protection they have left? They could disappear in silence as the ocean reclaims their land, surrounded, to the very end, by creatures that have perfected killing over millions of years. We have crossed 5 worlds where being alive means having made the right decision, where recognizing a footprint, interpreting a silence, or detecting a scent can mean the difference between seeing the sunrise or never seeing it again. The Hadzabe sleep, knowing lions stalk just meters away. The Korowai live 40 meters above the ground because crocodiles wait below. The Awa walk until exhaustion, fleeing jaguars that never rest. The Yanomami breathe poison on every branch, every leaf, every brightly colored frog. The sentinelese live surrounded by water where every creature can kill them. We, who live behind walls, who close doors, who call ambulances, can barely imagine waking up knowing something could be 3 meters away, waiting to kill you. And here is what truly matters. These communities are not relics of the past. They are our contemporaries. They live on the same planet, under the same sky, in the same year. But they inhabit realities where survival is not guaranteed. It is a daily achievement wrested from predators, poisons, and creatures that have perfected killing for millions of years. They do not survive by dominating nature. They survive by reading it, because they pay attention, because they remember, because they respect limits. And that is something the modern world is forgetting. We have advanced so fast that we stopped listening. We build walls against everything that frightens us instead of learning how to coexist with it. And perhaps, in that process, we lost something essential: the ability to be truly attentive. These cultures are not backward. Sometimes, what is backward is the way we look. After this journey, which of these 5 tribes do you think faces the deadliest dangers? Do you think you could survive a week in any of these places, or even a single night? And the question that goes beyond this documentary: what do you think truly makes us advance as a species, dominating everything, or learning to coexist with what surrounds us? Leave your reflection in the comments. Because this documentary does not end here, it continues in the questions we carry with us. If you want to keep exploring realities that still exist, and this documentary has helped you see other ways of life with new eyes, subscribe and activate notifications to join us on future journeys. Thank you for reaching the end and for being part of a community that looks without turning away. See you in the next documentary, where realities that still exist deserve to be understood before they disappear.